Yo, what's good, everybody? It's your boy 005 Dynasty. And of course, I need to get a haircut. Well, not get a haircut. I need to cut my hair. I'm looking like Teen Wolf. I'm sorry, I know. But when you're just out and about and doing what you have to do, you're not really worried about your features unless you're a female, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not a female, so I might look like Teen Wolf. I apologize. Anyway, so you know what I noticed, man? I had somebody come to my channel today, and they was watching the video that kind of like went a little crazy when I was talking about the fake musical producers on the internet, and I was showcasing musical producers actually on YouTube when I searched up NPC. So I went on YouTube, I searched up NPC, and whatever content creator, beat maker style, producer style person that showed up, I didn't care. I just went down and I was just saying what I had to say. I was speaking my mind and my truth about the game and like how the game what the game has turned into. Instead of, being out there on the block and doing what you have to do and really showing the hip hop culture, everybody's sitting inside their room and they're talking about updates and plugins and all this stupid stuff that's not really moving the game forward. It's not really hip hop. It's not the culture, really, if you really think about it. So, I had a gentleman who came to my channel, and they were saying something about somebody who's one of the famous people, right? And like basically was a little upset. They were a little upset at what I was saying about two famous people that either I made a video about or they were shown. I guess maybe like their video was shown in my video. You know what I'm saying? Like you could see them in my video. So, they made their comments and stuff like that, and their first comment was like kind of like getting at me, right? Saying like, oh, they're not, basically just trying to say like their complexion is different from mine, but even though that their complexion is different from mine, they have more hip hop in them than I do. Stuff like that, you know what I'm saying? And I'm at this point now in my musical career and in my life, like when I hear that type of stuff, it's either I do two things. I'll put it on blast, like I put it out there for other people to see, or I'll just give them a generalized like comment, just like, all right, whatever, man, like kind of like waving the flag, like, all right, you guys win type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Even though it is what it is, right? So I'm like, it is what it is. Like I forget what I said, something like, all right, that's your point of view or whatever. You know what I mean? So then the individual went on to watch a few more of my videos, which is cool. I appreciate that. You know what I mean? You want to dive into like my logic, my theory on stuff. That's cool. That's amazing. So again, they were still saying what they had to say, and I had to get to a point or get the conversations to the point and let the person know, like, and this is what I'm understanding. A lot of people, when they speak from a biased point of view because of an emotional attachment. And when you have an emotional attachment to something, your thought process can be skewed in one direction. You know what I'm saying? You tend to not to let information come through. And that's what I think is happening a lot of times with my videos, is like, people get what I'm saying, but they're not getting it 100,000%. They're not letting the information really flow through their minds, because their minds have like a biased way of working, or it has like they can't let go of something way of working. You know what I'm saying? Like they can't let go of like something they like, or something that they have learned, or it's something that if they hear somebody saying the opposite, but they can't hear the opposite part. They can't let that seep into their mind. They gotta fight. You know what I'm saying? So, if you are a musical producer in the game, if you sample or if you do original, whatever you do, and you have people coming to your channel and they're saying certain things, I want you to understand that a lot of people can't separate. They can't separate everything. They can't separate like the truth and then their own personal feelings. of bias, of being biased. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta accept it, guys and girls. You gotta have to accept it, man, because it takes a strong person to not be to have biased opinion, have a biased opinion. Like, you have to understand this, guys. Listen, I am an example of a person who doesn't have a biased opinion, because I talk about the sample game, even though I did sample. I also talk about the original game as well, even though I do original. Now, a lot of my videos, y'all haven't even seen me talk about the original game, because the original argument wasn't about the original game. The original argument was about what Ninth Wonder said about the ka-tink and sampling and stuff like that, and how, saying what keyboard producers and, and all that. So that's why I was defending the keyboard producers, because I'm saying you can't negate one side. You can't disrespect one side. Everybody should be treated equally and fairly. But a lot of times when I'm talking about the keyboard players or like the original producers, it's not on YouTube, it's behind the scenes. And I talk to people in real life, and I let people know in real life, like, just because you're original producer don't mean you dope either. Just because you choose to not sample doesn't mean that you're dope. Does not mean that you know music. It's just a choice. Everything's a choice. Whatever your weapon of choice is, that's your weapon of choice. Doesn't mean that you're dope just because you do either or. And it doesn't mean that either or is better either, because we can all get to that ultimate goal of making something amazing. But it doesn't mean one is harder than the other either. So, like, that was the whole thing about with the Ninth Wonder thing, right? When he was saying, like, oh, it's hard to sample. Like, not everybody can sample. That's why they don't do it. Or he's like, oh, cats always talking about the publishing. You know what I'm saying? They want all their money from the publishing. And when you press the keys, it's the equivalent to me pressing my pad one pad at a time, when you only hitting one key at a time, the ka-tink. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I got this stuff in my head, because I'm like, yo, I didn't even know people were thinking like this, man. I didn't even know somebody of Ninth Wonder's caliber would even say something like that out in the public. I didn't even know people were disrespecting him and saying, like, his music is whatever. I didn't know none of this, man. I'm gonna be totally honest with you guys. I didn't know there was like a whole bias part of music production, and people was fighting and arguing, and people saying you can't do this and you can't do that. I didn't even know that was even happening. Mind you, I'm not even a producer that was in the midst of all the craziness. Like, I'm not in the studios with a lot of these people. I don't have big records. I'm not placements. I don't have the people writing articles about me. So I'm not in there like that. I'm just a humble person just making music. You know what I'm saying? So, but when I saw the whole Ninth Wonder thing, all those videos that kept popping up on my feed on Instagram and TikTok and sometimes on YouTube, I had to make videos basically saying, like, nah, I don't think this is right. I don't think, if I really put my logic to it and I really start deep diving and investigating these sample-based producers, then you find a lot of information. You will find a lot of information about them. And the same goes for original producers as well. You know what I'm saying? They be stealing. A lot of original producers be stealing too. Like, they be taking stuff. They're not all just original. Like, it's crazy stuff on both sides of the game. So people who have a high, they're up there, they have a high level of, you know what I'm saying, status. I don't think they should be getting on the microphone saying stuff, man. YouTubers too, the YouTube beat makers, content creators, I don't think they should be making videos disrespecting the smaller YouTube channels, saying people music is bad, oh so bad, and all this. You gotta watch that mouth, man. Because then you never know what other people are going to think and say. And you gave me content. You guys gave me content to start talking about this stuff, because you didn't know what I was going to think and say, or anybody else that's like me. Now now when I say what I have to say, people can't say that my logic is bad or whatever. You can't do that. So my logic is bad. That means Ninth Wonder's logic is bad. All these people's logic is bad. Then you can't be biased. That's the thing. Everybody is being biased to who they like and who they want to succeed and who taught them something and who they perceived as a legend. So basically, because nobody knows 005 Dynasty online like that. So since I'm not a legend in your eyes, then my information don't matter. My opinion don't matter. But if I was the person who was sampling like 1,000,000 times a day and I got 1,000,000 placements, then everything I say will be golden to you. Think about that. Think about how, you guys got to think about how your life is going. Think about your lives, man. Think about your mind, your heart, like your feelings, your emotions, like how every day, like your nerves. Think about how your body is moving, guys. You gotta stop being biased in this world and just get back to being real and realistic people. Then you will truly see both sides. You know what I'm saying? Look at the movie Last Dragon, Leroy the Last Dragon. Until he got rid of all of his bias and his knowledge and all the stuff that he only thought was one thing, you know, he's following his master, and everything that his master said, that was the only thing he followed. Until he really opened up his eyes and really understood what being a true master was, that's when he got the final glow at the end of the movie. You guys will be able to get that final glow in your hands and become the most, I'm talking about, powerful musical producers, musicians, beat makers, whatever, audio engineers, mixing engineers, whatever it is, entertainers in general in life, if you get rid of the bias. Trust me on that. Trust me on that. And yeah. Man, guys, trust me on that. I'm out of here. I gotta go do some stuff. I like this video, man. I think this video is cool. I think if people watch this video all the way through to the end, they'll really see something. They really hear something.